from the betting capital of the world. Giving raw and real breakdowns of mixed martial arts and recapping UFC events like no one else, with producer Martin on the ones and twos and combat sports betting expert Effie. You're listening to Any Action Sportscast. Any Action Sportscast. So put your headphones on and let's take this podcast to the next level.
This isn't a podcast. It's a sportscast.
What's up, guys? We are back. It's your boy Effie with Any Action Sportscast here to go over UFC Vegas 81. Edson Barboza versus Sodiq Yusuff. This should be a very exciting card. We have a ton of live underdogs on this card, and us personally have a ton of bets on this card. We do have a lot of action on this card, and I can't wait, man. It's going to be a fun night of bets. We have some over-unders, we have some props, we have some money lines. It's going to be a good card, man. So we're going to do the video a little bit differently this week. We're going to go right into our bets to start the video, and then we're going to go into our predictions for each fight. And then at the end, I'll recap how we did at UFC Vegas 80 last week. Grant Dawson versus Bobby Green. Oh my goodness, did Grant Dawson get slept? But yeah, man, should be a fun video, quick video this week, a little bit later in the week. Haven't been feeling that good, but without any more time, let's go right into our bets. Our first moneyline bet will be in the co-main event of this card, a women's flyweight fight between Jennifer Maia and Viviane Araújo. We have staked 1 unit on Jennifer Maia's moneyline at -150 to collect 0.66 in return. This is going to be a pretty close fight, in my opinion, that goes all 3 rounds, but I do have to lean Jennifer Maia in this fight. Viviane Araújo statistically has a negative striking differential. She gets hit more per minute than she lands on her opponents, and her striking defense is what I think is going to lose her this fight. And the reason why I didn't go a whole 1.5 units to win 1 in this fight is that I do think that it's going to go all 3 rounds, going to go to decision. And in a fight where I think it's going to go to decision, man, it's women's MMA, man. It could be close. 1 or 2 significant shots can win you the round. But, man, I really like Jennifer Maia's boxing way more than Viviane Araújo. And I like her cardio more than Araújo here in this fight. I do worry, like I said, the reason I didn't go -150, 1.5 units to win 1 is another thing. Viviane Araújo could, in theory, take down Jennifer Maia a couple times in this fight. Jennifer Maia has been taken down by worse, grapplers than Viviane Araújo. But I just don't trust Viviane Araújo's grappling the last 15 minutes against Jennifer Maia. Jennifer Maia has really good output, man, and she's looked good in her last 2 fights. We had her against Casey O'Neill as an underdog in her last fight, and she cashed for us, man. She's on a 2-fight winning streak. On the other side, Viviane Araújo, she's on a 2-fight losing streak, and she did not look good against Amanda Ribas, man. Amanda Ribas was landing a lot with her jab, and I think that Jennifer Maia will find, Viviane's face in this fight and split her guard, landing jabs, get ahead on points, and ultimately win a decision in this fight. We only staked 1 unit on this fight. Like I said, the grappling, deficiency, the takedown defense from Maia isn't that good. But I do think that she has a better striking in this fight and better output in this fight, along with a better cardio. Both these women, are up there in age. 35 years old for Maia, 36 years old for Viviane Araújo. So they're getting up there in age for sure. But I do think that Jennifer Maia will keep this fight upright and win a 3-round decision. So for that reason, we staked 1 unit on her moneyline at -150 to collect 0.66 in return. And I will say, I do think that she wins the decision, but her line to win via decision was only -125. So her money line was -150 to win via decision. Her most likely outcome is -125. I don't think it's worth it. Who knows? Maybe Maia gets a finish late in this fight, some sort of ground pound finish, some crazy submission. I doubt it. But at -150, the difference between -150 and -125, it's not that big a deal for me. So I laid 1 unit on Jennifer Maia's money line at -150. Our next bet will be a over-under prop in the main event. We are taking the over in the Sodiq Yusuff versus Edson Barboza fight at over 2.5 rounds at -135. We laid 1.0 units on this bet to collect 0.74 in return. It's going to be a great fight, man. I am super excited for this main event. Sodiq Yusuff, he is the favorite in this fight. He's at -170 on the money line. Edson Barboza +140 on the underdog line for him. And I can see, a case for both guys, man. Sodiq Yusuff, way younger, huge age gap in this fight. Very good skill set. In my opinion, a little bit low on the output side and should have a grappling advantage in this fight over Edson Barboza. Barboza, man, is getting up there in age, man. 37 years old. Looked good in his last fight. Still got it for sure. But he has to cut down to 145. And it's hard to get behind guys at that age, who have gone down in weight classes in their career. It's hard to trust them with that weight cut. So The reason I like this over under 2.5 rounds is because I don't see Edson Barboza putting out Sadiq Yusuff early in this fight. Yes, Sadiq Yusuff was rocked a couple of times by Arnold Allen, but I rate Arnold Allen as one of the top 5 guys in the world. Nothing against Edson Barboza, but at this point in his career, I don't rank him as highly. You know, he's a great dangerous striker, but I don't think that he's going to be able to finish Sadiq Yusuff in the first 12.5 minutes of this fight. The way I see that fight actually playing out is I actually think that Sadiq Yusuff is going to be the one to get a finish late or win a decision in this fight. I wouldn't be shocked to see this fight go all 5 rounds. Sadiq Yusuff has never fought 5 rounds in the UFC, and it's going to be interesting to see how he approaches this. So maybe he won't have, you know, as much output as he usually does. But I really don't see any finishing upside here from either guy early in this fight. If anything happens as far as someone getting finished, I think it happens later in the fight. At 2.5, I had to take the over. I laid 1 unit, like I said, to collect 0.74 in return. Because like I said, I don't see very much finishing threats early in this fight. Yes, Edson Barboza can catch Sadiq Yusuff early, but I don't think Sadiq Yusuff is going to get caught. He has good footwork. It is a small apex cage, so he has to be careful. But I rate Sadiq Yusuff pretty highly, man. Like I said, he hasn't been very active in his career. I think he's coming back off an injury. I think he had some sort of surgery, so that's a big red flag. But I do think that he's a better fighter at this point in his career. But man, it's hard to go against Edson Barboza at plus 140. I understand the value shot if you're taking the underdog on Barboza, but at 37 years old, cutting down to 145. Man, I'm picking Sadiq Yusuff. We'll get to that later in the video. But for this bet, man, I'm going over 2.5 rounds at minus 135, 1 unit to collect 0.74. Our next bet will be a prop bet. And as you might tell, we haven't been betting a lot on our bets. We're going to go smaller and smaller and smaller as the video goes. These are more sort of sprinkles, you could say. But we have Michel Pereira versus Andre Petroski. Fight starts round 3 at minus 120. We laid 0.75 units to win 0.62. Now, this is a dangerous bet, guys. Both guys have finishing ability. Both guys have finishing ability early. I can see Andre Petroski getting Michel down and, you know, really working him bad. Michel Pereira has never fought a pure grappler like Andre Petroski, and he's going up a weight class. He's going up to 185. You know, Michel Pereira was missing weight like crazy all the time at minus 170. And I've actually met this guy a couple times in the gym, and let me tell you, 3 things went through my head. 1, dang, I need to get huge. This guy, I need to get, you know, do more work in the gym. 2, there's no shot this dude is his age. There's no shot he's 30 years old. Zero chance, zero chance he's 30 years old. No way. And then 3, he is enormous, man. I do not know how he ever made 170. When I met him, man, he had to be 210, 215. And it's funny because both times I've seen him in the gym, he's always on the treadmill, like trying to cut weight. He's always in the sauna suit, getting weight off. It's crazy. This guy is huge, man. Michel Pereira will look totally normal at 185. I'm not worried about the size difference here. But I am worried that he's going to be able to finish Andre Petroski here early in this fight. Michel Pereira KO at any moment in this fight. And then Andre Petroski submission or ground pound finish at any moment in this fight can happen for sure. So that's why we only laid 3/4 of a unit, 0.75 units on this bet, because I do recognize that both guys can get finished in this fight. But I like this over the, you know, I like this rather more so than the over 2.5 rounds. Fight starts round 3, man. They only got to last 10 minutes. 10 minutes in the apex cage where I can see Michel Pereira being the one running around. A lot of lateral movement, good footwork in the apex cage, trying to avoid Andre from grabbing him. I can see Andre getting him, grabbing him, and then just killing the clock. I can definitely see that. I can see them clinching up against the warning track and killing the clock as well. But man, every time they exchange, every time they throw down, I can see Michel Pereira cracking Andre, man. Andre Petroski was getting hit by Gerald Meerschaert. Gerald, you know, no offense, is not a striker. This guy, Gerald's a jiu-jitsu player, and he was landing big time on Andre. Andre, the more the fight goes, he also fades. Both these guys have bad gas tanks. Both these guys fade, you know, toward the end of the fights. So that's worrisome. But give me Michel Pereira, Andre Petroski. Fight starts round 3. I'm super excited for this fight. I want to see how Andre looks on short notice against someone going up a weight class in Michel Pereira. I want to see how Michel Pereira's striking and his power translates to this weight class. I want to see how he deals with a pure bona fide grappler, man. Andre Petroski has legit grappling. But man, I really like this bet. Pereira, Petroski, fight starts round 3, minus 120, 0.75 units to win 0.62. And our next 2 bets will be tiny, minuscule sprinkles on that same fight. We are taking Michel Pereira to win the fight in round 2 at plus 700. We laid 0.1 units on this fight, a tenth of a unit, a small shot, guys, to win 0.7 units. I think that line is crazy. Michel Pereira to win in round 2. Like I said a couple minutes ago, He could finish Andre at any second in this fight. Yes, he's not really finishing guys at his most recent weight class, but at 185, I want to see how that power translates. I want to see how he looks at 185. And Andre Petrosky has very bad striking defense. This guy is on the center line all the time, and his striking offense isn't that good either. He throws a ton of overhand rights, and someone like Gerald Meerschaert was able to see that coming a mile away. Andre Petrosky, the more the fight goes, gets way more telegraphed in his shots and in his approach, in his offensive striking. I could see Michel Pereira countering him big time, man. Round 2, Michel Pereira plus 700. I had to sprinkle on that. Speaking of which, I had to sprinkle on Michel Pereira round 3. And that line's at plus 800. So we laid a tenth of unit on that as well. 0.10 units to win 0.8 units. Like I said last, bet. That line is just off, man. I see a late finish for sure happening here from Michel Pereira. This fight is favored to not go the distance. The books think that someone's going to get finished in this fight. And like I said, I can see Andre Petrosky 100% finishing Michel Pereira, Michel Pereira gassing out, not being able to stuff the takedowns, and then Petrosky winning the decision. So if you're someone out there that likes props, likes crazy, prop odds, Petrosky's a pretty big underdog on the money line as it is. You can take him to win via decision, and I think that's a live bet as well. But I do think that Michel Pereira is going to win the fight for 1, and for 2, can finish the fight. So his money line was minus 200, and I was thinking about laying 1 unit on Michel Pereira to collect half a unit in return. But I do have my questions, man. He's going up a weight class. I haven't seen him here in the UFC, and he's fighting a pure grappler who, might give him problems. So I do think that Michel Pereira can finish this fight. So that's why I laid 2 small sprinkles on Michel Pereira round 2 at plus 700 and Michel Pereira round 3 at plus 800. And our next bet is another prop and another sprinkle. This is a small shot as well. We have Edgar Chairez to win in round 2 at plus 500. We laid 0.10 units on this to collect a half unit in return. Now, this is a rematch. I was actually at the fight at UFC, Noche UFC, wherever you want to call it, at the T-Mobile just a few weeks ago. And crazy finish, right? Edgar Chairez has his submission locked in. The ref goes to check Lacerda's arm to see if he's still there, and it limps. And they call the fight, and then Lacerda looks at him like, "Hey man, I was awake. What are you doing?" And to me, I thought he was out. I thought it was a clean submission, whatever. Round 1, open and shut case. Good job, Edgar. But then no, it takes forever for the scorecard comes in, and everyone was talking like, "What's going on? What's going on?" And in my head, I'm like, "Dude, they're about to call this back." Sure enough, they call it a no contest. I was like, "Whoa, that's crazy." They rebooked it for this fight card, and I think the same thing is gonna happen. I think Edgar Chairez is gonna finish Lacerda in this fight. But I think it happens in round 2 this time, and at plus 500, I had to sprinkle. Chairez to win in round 1 was plus 100 even money. I think that's kind of crazy because, yes, he probably does do that. Yes, it's probably his most likely outcome. Neither guy has ever won a decision if it goes all 3 rounds. But Edgar has way more cardio. I mean, we can talk about Lacerda and how he's 0-4-1 in the UFC in his 5 fights. But I think that Edgar Chairez wins in round 2 due to the fact that Lacerda, in that last fight, if he came out way less crazy than he usually does. He was way more composed and had way less, chaos to his fight, you could say. And so to me, that's someone that clearly knows his UFC job was on the line. He had to do whatever he had to do to win. The smartest approach. He shot 2 takedowns, got stuffed, shot another one, got choked out. So he definitely showed a little bit less of that chaos of type mindset. So he's more composed and more not as wild. If he does that for 1 round, survives, gets finished in round 2, boom, we hit our bet. So I think Chairez either finishes his fight in the first round or finishes it in the second round. And at plus 500, I had to lay a tenth of a unit, 0.01 units on Edgar Chairez to win in the third or second round, plus 500 to collect a half unit in return. And our last bet, guys, is another prop. We have Adrian Yanez to win via decision at plus 400. We laid a quarter of a unit on this to collect 1 unit in return. Now, this line is absolutely wild to me, man. We have a fight where Jonathan Martinez is fighting Adrian Yanez, right? 2 strikers, but 2 different types of strikers in a way. Jonathan Martinez, crazy, powerful leg kicks. This dude will chop your legs down instantly. This dude has powerful leg kicks, 100%. Anyone that has watched the tape on him, has watched him fight, will know going into their fight, I have to check leg kicks. Adrian Yanez, really good boxing in the exchanges that he has. Really crisp striker. I know he got knocked out for the first time in his career last fight against Rob Font. And hey, man, we cashed on Rob Font, and I actually expected Rob Font to win that fight, but I did not expect Adrian Yanez to get knocked out the way he did. It was vicious, man. It was a clean shot. Nothing to say, nothing against Yanez, but that is worrisome, man. Rob Font doesn't knock out anybody. He knocked out Adrian Yanez, a Mexican of all people. So this fight, man, call me crazy, but I think it goes to decision. Both guys are super durable, even though Yanez just got finished in his last fight. Jonathan Martinez got absolutely slept by Grant earlier in his career in the UFC. But I don't see either guy putting away either one early. If it happens, it's going to happen late. And I think that Jonathan Martinez, this is like a pick 'em. I can see money coming in on Yanez now. But this is going to be a close fight. I think it goes to the cards in a close fight. And at plus 400 for one guy to win via decision, I think that's crazy. I think Jonathan Martinez to win via decision was plus 200. And man, I don't think he's going to finish Adrian Yanez. You can tell me if you think he will in the comments. But I think Adrian Yanez bounces back here. I think he's going to be able to win the boxing exchanges and have better hands, have better hand speeds, better combinations than Martinez. And if he catches Martinez while he throws a naked kick, he could drop Martinez. Not for nothing, Adrian Martinez, he tends to mark up his opponents pretty good. They get to wear damage pretty fast when they fight Adrian Yanez. I mean, Rob Font was getting pieced up before he knocked out Yanez. So that is good. It's going to look good on the judges. Good, for the eyes of the judges there. Man, at plus 400 in a close fight that I think goes to the cards, give me Adrian Yanez to win via decision at plus 400, a quarter unit to win one. And now it's time to give you guys my picks for the entire card beginning to end, starting with Ashley Yoder versus Emily Ducote. Ducote being at minus 400 right now is absolutely crazy, but I think that she works Ashley Yoder, man. Ashley Yoder's coming off a huge layoff. She's not that good. She's, I think, 3-7 in their 10 UFC fights. Absolutely absurd. I really don't see any one area that she has an advantage over Emily Ducote. Ducote will have the striking, the takedown defense, the clinch work, the output, and the activity, man. She's way more active. Give me Emily Ducote to win that fight. She's going to be a parlay piece for a lot of people out there. Yeah, and I get it, man. At minus 300, I wish I would have gotten her on her earlier. I would have parlayed her for sure. But at minus 400, women's MMA fight to start the card, I'm going to pass. Give me Emily Ducote to win and maybe even finish Ashley Yoder. But I'll go decision, Emily Ducote. After that, we have Chris Gutierrez versus Hailey Ali Tang. This is a kind of a crazy fight as well because Chris Gutierrez, I think, will win this fight. I'm going to go with him via decision, but he's around minus 400. Money's been coming in on him, Ali Tang, his opponent. And I do think that original minus 400 line on Chris Gutierrez was way off. I think minus 300 is still a little bit wide. Give me Chris Gutierrez to win this fight. Ali Tang's going to have to wrestle in this fight. And if he can't wrestle, I think Chris Gutierrez is going to be able to kick his legs apart, get a head on points on the feet, and just be the overall quicker striker. I know it's a little bit late replacement for Ali Tang. Ali Tang was supposed to fight Ron and Yaya, and then Chris Gutierrez, his original opponent, got pulled. And so now they're kind of makeshifting this fight. So it's kind of a weird switch up in opponents. But both guys should be ready. Give me Chris Gutierrez to win via decision. But man, minus 300, that's going to be, that's wide. That is wide. But give me Chris Gutierrez, no bet, no action. Give me Chris Gutierrez decision. After that, we have Irina Alekseeva versus Melissa Dixon.
Brother, who cares? Who cares, brother? Who cares, brother? Who cares?
I'm going with Melissa Dixon to win via decision or even finish Alekseeva late in the fight. Man, Alekseeva surprised me by winning her last fight. I had no hope for her. She's not very good. Her opponents she's fighting before the UFC are not very good. I don't think she's that good. Give me Melissa Dixon to win via decision. After that, we have Terrence McKinney taking on Brendan Moreau. I have nothing to say about this fight other than Terrence McKinney is probably going to finish the fight in that first round. I've never seen Brendan fight. I couldn't find any tape on this guy. So I was like, I'm not going to talk about it like I know what I'm talking about. But give me Terrence McKinney to win in that first round. If he gasses out, who knows? Maybe this Brendan guy can win. But this totally feels like a late, short notice type fight where Brendan just accepted the fight, and his next fight is probably going to be a better performance than this one. Terrence McKinney, round one. Terrence McKinney inside the distance. Terrence McKinney, either sub or knockout, round one. After that, Hirana Lisboa versus Ravina Oliveira. I'm going with Lisboa in this fight. I had her against Jessica Rose Clark. This line is also crazy wide. Do not be betting Lisboa at minus 300, minus 350, minus 400. That's crazy. She's going to win the fight. But, I mean, that's insane, man. Your return, you're not really adding anything on her if you add her on a parlay or anything. But I think that she wins. Does she finish the fight? Maybe. Ravina Oliveira, her tape, I mean, there's nothing about her, what I saw from her fighting that makes me think that she's going to win any fights in the UFC, really. Whereas Lisboa is this Muay Thai girl. I'm decent striking her. She's good. I bet on her against Rose Clark. She's totally fine. Good prospect. Give me Lisboa to win that fight. Not touching that fight. No way can I bet on that fight. But give me Lisboa to win that fight. Up next, we have a banger of a fight. This one's going to be blood and guts for sure. Darren Elkins taking on TJ Brown. I'm going with TJ Brown in this fight. Everyone's on Derek Elkins this year, and that's because he should be able to outlast that early wave from TJ Brown and then be able to put it on TJ Brown as TJ Brown fades in the fight. But Darren Elkins is getting up there in age, man. At this point, you're just kind of, I just can't get behind the guy. He's 39 years old. TJ Brown will look good early in the fight, and I wouldn't be surprised to see him finally, for once, finish Darren Elkins. Or not for once, I should say, but kind kind of come through and do what he should do. He's minus 200. No way. 2-1 favorite over Darren Elkins. I can't do it, man. I can't bet on him and can't bet him on any sort of prop. Maybe knockout, maybe get some good value there. But Darren Elkins is a savage. I understand why a lot of people are on them in this fight. But give me TJ Brown to win. And I actually am going to go with a inside the distance prediction here. I'm going to go with second round knockout against Darren Elkins. The only way I see Darren Elkins winning this fight is if he doesn't get cut up and if he could utilize his grappling over TJ Brown. TJ Brown's been taken down by way worse guys. And actually, a lot of TJ Brown's wins in the UFC aren't even in the UFC anymore. So, man, Darren Elkins, a super OG triple vet. But I'm going with TJ Brown to knock out the 39-year-old Darren Elkins in that second round. And, bro, this next fight is a banger of a fight. Christian Rodriguez to start the main card against Cameron Simon. Two prospects, just beast, man. This is probably the whole day on Saturday. I'm looking forward to this fight. Like, forget football, forget whatever, baseball, like basketball. I am sitting down. I can't wait to watch Christian Rodriguez fight Cameron Simon. And I'm going with Christian Rodriguez to win a decision in this fight. Cameron Simon, in my opinion, has been taken down twice in the UFC by worse grapplers than Christian Rodriguez. It's kind of crazy how badly Raul Rosas Jr. was working Christian Rodriguez in his most recent fight. We've seen Christian Rodriguez get worked on the mat by, Raul Rosas Jr., but then Raul Rosas Jr. faded, his gas tank dumped, and Rodriguez put it on him bad, man. That third round against Raul Rosas Jr., that was insane. He dominated Raul Rosas Jr. And not for nothing, Rodriguez showed very good submission defense in that fight against Rosas Jr. On the feet, I think that he's a better striker than Cameron Simon. Cameron Simon is very wild. Who knows? That might be a good thing. Maybe he shows improvements fight to fight, and it gets better, man. This guy's only 22 years old. Cameron Simon's only 22 years old. This guy's a legit prospect. Very good grappler, very well rounded in his skill set. But like he's just a little bit more wide, more wild, and can lose positions more than Christian Rodriguez, in my opinion. So I think Christian is just the overall better, more polished fighter at this point in their career. If they were to rematch maybe in 4 years, who knows? Maybe Cameron Simon beats Christian Rodriguez. But my prediction, I'm going with Christian Rodriguez to win via decision. After that, guys, we have Edgar Chairez taking on Daniel Lacerda. You guys already know how I feel about this. Edgar Chairez, round 2, knockout. Then we have Michel Pereira versus Andre Petrosky. You already know how I feel about this as well. Give me Michel Pereira in a few different ways. I think that he can finish Petrosky, but I am going to go with a decision right here. Give me Michel Pereira via decision. And it's funny because I know I have 2 bets on him to win via finish in the second and third round, but those are sprinkles for a reason. Give me Michel Pereira decision. Next, Jonathan Martinez taking on Adrian Yanez. Close fight, pick 'em fight. Wouldn't be surprised to see this line flip and see Yanez be the favorite by the time the fight starts. But I think it goes the distance. I think that Yanez wins. This one's up there with Christian Rodriguez, man. This one and Christian Rodriguez are 2 fights that I just cannot wait to sit down, get in front of the TV, and watch, man. Sometimes you just got to watch as a fan, but I do have action on this card. Small sprinkle, quarter unit shot on Adrian Yanez to win via decision, plus 400. Give me Yanez to win via decision right here. Give me a good fight, man. It's crazy how Yanez for sure will have the better hands, and Martinez will for sure have the better kicks. So it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. But I think Yanez in the small octagon will be able to get in the face of Martinez, get in there in his guard, split his guard, and really mark up Jonathan Martinez. So give me Yanez via decision. In the co-main event, guys, 2 more fights. Do me a favor, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Let me know what you think about the video so far. Jennifer Maia taking on Viviane Araújo in the co-main event. Give me Jennifer Maia to win via decision. Just not that impressed by Araújo's last 2 performances, especially that last one against Ribas. To me, she had all the signs of a fading fighter. Looked good to start, and then it gets pieced up the whole rest of the fight. She was getting outstruck for the most part of that fight, and I see that Jennifer Maia has way better technical boxing than Viviane Araújo. Viviane Araújo, I wouldn't be surprised to see her have the speed advantage early in this fight, but I think that she will fade in this fight. I don't think that she's going to be able to get down Jennifer Maia a few times. Kind of crazy that Casey O'Neill only shot, I think, once or twice on Maia, which I thought was how she was going to approach that fight. Viviane Araújo should look to grapple in this fight because, like I said, on the feet, Maia's going to be able to piece her up. Give me Jennifer Maia to use that jab, get ahead on the points, keep this upright, and win a decision. In the main event, guys, going to be a banger of a fight. Sadiq Yusuff versus Edson Barboza. I could go either way, man. I can see the case for both guys in this fight, but I am going to go with Super Sadiq Yusuff to win this fight via decision, actually. I wouldn't be surprised to see him win 4th or 5th round finish here late. I just can't pick Edson Barboza at this point in his career, but man, he can crack still. It's not like he's like totally washed up. Like, I'm not putting the nail in the coffin yet on Edson Barboza, but give me Sadiq Yusuff. I think it's just his time. The inactivity does worry me. the rumors of I don't know if it's rumors. I think it might be confirmed. The surgeries that he's coming off of, big red flag. That's why I didn't touch this fight over. Other than the over-under, I think that both fighters are pretty durable. I don't really see either guy getting finished early in this fight. I had the over, 2.5 rounds in this fight. So give me Sadiq Yusuff to win this fight via decision. And that'll do it, guys. A little bit different of a video this week. A little bit under the weather. You can probably hear it in my voice. But it's super late, man. It's Thursday night, and I'm putting out a video here because I wanted to put out something and not, go into the next week's pay-per-view without putting anything out. So good luck this week, guys, on your bets. Let me know what you think about my bets. I'm feeling pretty good. We're only up a little bit over 2 units on the entire year. So you're going to see me and my bets the rest of the year be way more conservative and try to build these units, build this profit, build the bankroll brick by brick, man. Just how I like to, man. So yeah, do me a favor, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. We've been stuck on 257 subscribers for like legit 5 weeks. So hit that subscribe button. Let me know what you think about my picks, man. Are you going against me? You tailing me? You fading me? Or are you riding, bro? So good luck this week. Like I said, guys, enjoy the fights. Should be a good card. See you guys next week. Peace.